It's a lovely weekend in the neighborhood. I'm walking my dog, watching the world go by. Alex is busy developing a new app, one he's been working on for months, and then there's Jake. Well, Jake is doing what Jake usually does. Sleeping in late, his mind buzzing with dread. There's so much he could do and even more he'd do, but for Jake it all feels overwhelming. I know how he feels. The weight of all those obligations can crush anyone. I used to do the same, choosing the easy path, wasting time on things that required no effort at all. I'd see people like Alex, so focused, so calm, filling their days with productive activities, building something from the ground up, exercising every day, making progress at work. Alex always seemed to have it all together. Man, I'd think Alex is just built different. He seems to have this innate ability to push through challenges effortlessly. He must have more willpower than me. It's like he was born with an extra dose of determination that I somehow missed out on. How does he stay focused on the hard stuff for so long? I can barely keep my attention on one task without getting distracted. I wish I enjoyed doing healthy things like he does. It seems like he genuinely loves eating salads and going for runs, while I struggle to even get started. But that right there? That's the mindset that held me back for years, and I didn't even realize it. I was trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and comparison. It's funny, really. Some people seem to enjoy their healthy, well-balanced lives, as if it's effortless for them to focus on difficult things. They make it look so easy. It almost feels like they know some secret the rest of us don't. Like they've unlocked a hidden code to happiness and productivity that I just can't figure out. And like Jake, I spent years stuck in this cycle, waiting for some spark of motivation, hoping I'd magically start loving the things that are good for me. I kept thinking that one day, I'd wake up and everything would just click into place. But the truth is, it's not about waiting for that magical moment. It's about changing the way we think and approach our goals. It's about taking small, consistent steps and building habits that lead to lasting change. Once I realized that, everything started to shift. I began to see progress not because I suddenly had more willpower, but because I changed my mindset, and that made all the difference. But here's the thing, Alex isn't special. He's just like everyone else, facing the same struggles and challenges. I didn't need willpower to live like him. It wasn't about some extraordinary strength or unique talent. I just needed to shift how I looked at everything, and the biggest realization, it was all about perspective. I had been lying to myself all along. I had created a narrative that wasn't true. I wasn't trapped by anyone else. The limitations were self-imposed. It wasn't society, or advertising, or politics. It was me. I was my own biggest obstacle. I convinced myself that I enjoyed things that were bad for me. I let myself believe that these habits were rewarding, and dreaded things that were actually good. I saw beneficial activities as burdens. I remember times when I had deadlines, like a school paper, looming over me, and I'd procrastinate until I was stressed to the breaking point. The pressure would build up until it was almost unbearable. But then, when I finally got started, something shifted. There was a sense of relief, almost like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Why did I wait so long? This feels good. The act of doing was far more satisfying than the dread of anticipation. I began to realize that I actually liked doing things that were good for me. It was undeniable proof. The more I engaged in positive activities, the more I enjoyed them. It was a revelation that changed everything. I understood that my happiness was in my hands. I started setting small, achievable goals. Each success built on the last. And with each victory, my confidence grew. I was no longer a prisoner of my own mind. I was free to create the life I wanted. The realization was powerful, and it set me on a new path. A path where I was in control, where I could shape my destiny. And that made all the difference. On the other hand, when I wasted my days on mindless activities, scrolling endlessly, I felt empty, bored, anxious. I'd feel like I should be doing something more meaningful. It wasn't enjoyable at all, yet for some reason, I kept doing it. The disconnect was clear. What I thought would bring me comfort actually made me feel worse. So why did doing what I needed to do feel so dreadful every single time I started? I pondered this question for a long time, trying to understand the root cause of my reluctance. That's when I realized it. It's because of the word should. This tiny word carried so much weight and pressure. Telling myself I should do something made it feel like a chore, an obligation rather than a choice. It was as if the word itself drained all the joy and motivation out of the task. I'm ambitious by nature, and the moment someone, even myself, tells me what I should do, I want to rebel against it. It's a natural reaction, a pushback against being controlled, even if it's self-imposed. But here's the catch. What I should do is often what I actually want to do deep down. These are the things that align with my goals, my values, and my aspirations. It actually feels good to do those things, to accomplish tasks that matter to me. The satisfaction and sense of achievement are undeniable. So framing it as should was sabotaging me. It was creating an unnecessary mental barrier. I realized that the language I used with myself was crucial. I didn't need more willpower. I needed a different approach, a shift in perspective. What if I just did what I wanted to do, and what I wanted aligned with what was good for me? By changing my internal dialogue, I could transform my experience. Instead of saying I should, I started saying I want to or I choose to. This simple change made a world of difference. Suddenly tasks felt lighter, more manageable, and even enjoyable. I found myself more motivated and less resistant. And the best part? I was still achieving my goals, but with a lot less stress and a lot more joy. The word should no longer had power over me. I had taken control of my narrative, and it felt liberating. That simple shift changed everything. I stopped playing these mind games with myself. I didn't need to make things harder than they were. I could simply do what I wanted, and what I wanted was to live a better life, to feel good. I started to realize that much of what I thought I wanted wasn't really what I wanted at all. It was compulsion. The world is filled with traps designed to pull us in, shiny, easy distractions that promise happiness but leave us feeling worse. Companies spend billions to make these things tempting, but once I recognized them for what they were, I stopped falling for them. I started paying attention to what actually made me feel good in the long term. It wasn't scrolling for hours or binging on TV shows. It was things like going for a walk, writing, learning new things. It was the stuff that made me feel proud of myself. And just like that, I realized I didn't need to force myself to do those things. They were what all along. Alex didn't have more fun because he was disciplined. He had more fun because he found satisfaction in doing what mattered. He wasn't tricked by the surface-level appeal of mindless entertainment, and now, neither am I. So here's the truth. When you see things clearly, when you stop confusing what you truly want with compulsion, life becomes easier. You naturally do what's good for you because it feels. And you don't need willpower to make that happen. You just need clarity. I unbrainwashed myself, and so can you. Life feels better when you're no longer confused about what makes you happy. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit the like button. It helps others find this, and it helps me too. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.